Welcome back to another episode of the Savvy Successful Mompreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Savannah, and today we're diving into one of my favorite topics, branding that connects. Now, before you think branding is just your logo or colors, I want you to pause. Branding is about connection. It's about trust. It's about resonance. And for us moms and CEOs, our story is what creates that deep connection with the women we want to serve, the customers we want to reach, and the community we want to build. In this episode, I'm going to break down exactly how to use your story, the messy, the beautiful, imperfect story of being both a mom and a CEO to build a brand that is magnetic and authentic. By the end, you'll have the framework you can use to weave your story into your brand so people don't just buy from you, they believe in you. So grab your energy drink or coffee and maybe sneak away from the laundry pile for a moment, and let's talk about creating a brand that truly connects. First, let's get clear on what branding really is. Branding is not just aesthetics. It's not your font, your Canva template, or your Instagram feed. Those are tools. Branding is the feeling people get when they interact with your business, the story they tell themselves about you, the values that shine through everything you create. Think about the brands you're most loyal to. Chances are you don't just buy their product because it's the cheapest or the prettiest. You buy because you feel connected to it. You believe in what they stand for. Now, as mompreneurs, we have a secret weapon that many traditional businesses don't. Our story. The story of juggling nap schedules, school runs, late nights, and business dreams. That story is what makes us relatable, and reliability builds trust. People buy with their hearts first and their logic second. That's why storytelling is such a powerful branding tool. When you share your story, you create a bridge. Suddenly, you're not just a business owner. You're a woman they can see themselves in. Think about it. If you say, I started my business because I wanted to spend more time with my kids while still contributing financially, how many other moms instantly lean in? Probably hundreds. Your story is what makes you real. Your story gives your brand a human side. And in an online world that can always feel very polished, very filtered, and sometimes even fake, your story is what makes you real. And here's the best part. You don't need a dramatic, movie-worthy story. You just need your story, told with honesty, clarity, and purpose. Okay, so how do we actually tell our story that works for branding? Here are 3 key pieces to focus on. First is your why. Why did you start your business? What was the turning point that made you say, I need to do this? That's your emotional anchor. For me, my why is my family. We used to send our stepdaughter to a sitter. It seemed like she spent more time with a sitter than with us. When I was pregnant with my toddler, I said I absolutely refused to have a babysitter raise this child. I was determined to be at home with her as much as possible and be her biggest influence. Number 2 is your struggle. What obstacles did you face as a mom and a business owner? This is where people connect. They want to know you're human. Did you struggle with time, with doubt, with balancing motherhood and ambition? Because trust me, I struggled. If we take my stepdaughter out of the equation for a second, I was practically a first-time mom. I never raised a baby before. And now I have a business that's pulling at me too. I felt like I was barely treading water. Now, I've got my systems in place, so I no longer tread water, but I walk on it. Number 3 is your transformation. Where are you now compared to where you started? What did your business allow you to achieve? More time? more freedom, more financial independence, confidence. That transformation is what inspires people to believe they can do it too, or that your product and service can help them. For me, I'm now able to stay home and not only run many savvy, successful businesses, but I am able to homeschool my daughter, have hobbies, and have the life that I love. Put those three together and you have a brand story that connects every single time. Now let's get practical. How do you actually use your story in branding? Here are some simple but powerful ways. On your website About page, don't just list credentials. Tell the story of why you started and who you serve. On social media, share snippets of your journey. The messy kitchen table where you first brainstormed, the kids playing in the background during a Zoom call, the late night work sessions. In your content, tie your story into your lessons. For example, when I first started, I struggled with consistency because I was juggling a newborn. Here's how I overcame it. Another simple but powerful way is in your pitch. Whether you're pitching a podcast, a collaboration, or a client, weave in your why. People hire humans, not robots. Remember, people don't just want polished, they want real. They want your real story. It is your most powerful branding tool. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but my story isn't that special. Let me stop you right there. Every story matters. Your story doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be true and true to you. And maybe you're thinking, I don't want to overshare. And you don't have to. There's a difference between being transparent and being vulnerable. You get to choose the parts of your story that serve your brand and hold back the parts that are private to you. The key is to share from a place of empowerment, not a place of an open wound. You want your story to inspire, not feel like therapy in public. So if you've been holding back, I want you to remember, your story is your brand's heartbeat. Without it, your brand is just surface level. With it, your brand becomes magnetic. Now let's wrap this up with some action steps. Here's what I want you to do after this episode. First, write down your why. Be honest and specific. 2, write down your biggest struggle as a mom and CEO. And third, I want you to write down the transformation you've experienced. And 4, we're getting a little homeworky, but hear me out. Draft a short 3-paragraph version of your brand story that you can use on your website or social media. And 5, share one piece of your story this week on social media, something that feels real and authentic. When you do this, you'll start to notice the people leaning in, engaging more, and connecting with you on a deeper level. Branding that connects isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about letting your story do the heavy lifting so that your brand feels human, relatable, and trustworthy. As moms and CEOs, our story is our superpower. It's what makes us stand out in a noisy online world. So don't shy away from it. Embrace it. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of the Savvy Successful Mompreneur podcast. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with another mompreneur who needs to hear it. And don't forget to follow me on all my socials. The links are in the show notes. For more tips on building a business that aligns with your life as a mom, be sure to follow me. And until next time, remember, your story is enough, and your brand is powerful because of it. See you soon.